How many running backs are going to go in this year's first round? We got possibility of 2. Chris Sims, Phil's boy, came out with his rankings the other day. Had Omarion Hampton with a first round grade. All right, out of UNC. Might have him. Hey, he says he's on the same tier as Gentry. So see which flavor someone else wants. How about Ashton Gentry's his number one, everybody's number one ranked running back coming into this draft? Will they take him? Hey, Chris Sims says he's got the best contact balance he's ever seen in his life. So who knows which one they're going to take? It's probably going to be Gentry first. A lot of analysts has him first. So what we want to know is what kind of points can we expect in fantasy this year? How do they do in their first year? We're going to take a look at some of the first year running backs and see how they did their first year. Let's get started. Welcome into Fantasy AI. Moving on. All right, let's bring out those first round running backs, starting with Cordell Patterson. Cordell Patterson, of course, drafted as a wide receiver, became a running back. Does anyone know which team originally drafted him? Minnesota drafted him as a wide receiver. And Christian McCaffrey was a first-round running back, drafted by Carolina. And Barkley was a first-round draft pick, running back. And, of course, it was the Giants that took him. Next up is Josh Jacobs. He was a first-rounder. The Raiders took him, and CEH, of course, the Chiefs took him as a first-rounder into the first round. So Najee Harris, with the Chargers now, he was Pittsburgh's first-round pick, running back, and Travis Etienne. These are running backs still in their NFL that were first-round picks. And Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs all were first round. So there's 9 of them currently in the NFL that were first round picks. Let's go ahead and bring up a little bar graph here. Let's go see which year they were drafted. See, it kind of progresses down. Patterson all the way back in 2013. 2017 for McCaffrey. He's been around a while. Barkley's been around too. 2018 was his first year. So you can see the years they were drafted. You can see 2021. It looks like almost one a year for a while until we get to 2021, and then we take 2. All right? But then we skipped 2022, and then we took 2 in 2023 and skipped 2024. So down here towards the end, it looks like we take 2 in the odd years. All right? So that's kind of funny. All right, let's go ahead and next. Let's bring out which pick in the first round were they? Kind of worried. So obviously Barkley was the 2nd pick overall back when he was drafted. And you had McCaffrey as an 8th overall, and Robinson was the 8th overall. So a lot of people talking Gentry here in the 6th pick to the Raiders. Well, you can see that's the only other one higher would have been Barkley in the 2nd pick. So a lot of times, a lot of that capital, at least lately, hasn't been spent on running back. So, except Robinson here in 8th. And you can say that pretty well paid off. Let's go over his years. Of course, he did a lot better in his 2nd year here. 1,414 touchdowns. Yes, great. So here they are, which picks they were. You can see some of them were in late rounds. A lot of the running backs most of them were in later after 20. There are a couple early ones here. So let's go ahead and back what they finished last year. Of course, those you can see here, 4 of the top ones were in the top 5. So we had 4 out of 5 last year finishes were first round picks. So these are kind of important here. Let's see what their averages were last year. You can see their average by far, Barkley the best, 20.2. And Jahmyr Gibbs here at 18.4. That's where they finished last year. Of course, here's their total points from last year. Doesn't change much except bring McCaffrey down. He had a high average for the games he did play. And this is the first year. Now, this is an important one. This is what the first year they averaged after being drafted. So their first year, Barkley came out right out of the gates 18.3, right, for a high round pick. The other ones were Josh Jacobs, 13.3 his first year. Najee, 13.4. So you had some high ones. 12.8 for the first year. So, first years, let's check. Here's what they did in their second year. Christian McCaffrey came on in his second year, it looked like. But here's what they do in their first. I'll go back and look at their first years around. This is what's important. Where are we going to draft those two number one running backs coming in the assumed draft next year? So, and how big a year will they have? Well, you can see here's what you get. Barkley, of course, you can't say that it was his best year because of this year, but besides this last year, his first year was his best year. Right? You can see his yearly totals kind of slipped away and back here in 2024. So that's Barkley's yearly averages. You can see, hey, that first year was quite something. And same with Jacobs here. Let's take a look at his year. That first year was pretty big. Of course, he's been big every year. Let's not sleep on Josh Jacobs. Look at it, every year above 10 comfortably. 15 on some years. 15.4 last year. So Josh Jacobs, first rounder was, and let's look at Najee. Hey, his first year, even here. Just can't seem to. His first year here, he did his best. So I guess what this is showing us, let's get all over these running backs in their first year. Of course, there were a couple of improvements. Of course, I think Robinson did better in his second year. Of course, still did good in his first year. So it's almost can't miss. That running back, first year running back, can't miss him. So, all right. Let's get ready. Let's move on to this. If you're liking what you're seeing, please hit that like. Please hit that subscribe button. Do it today. Be the first on your block. Hit that subscribe button. Thumbs up. Thank you. All right, Dallas. Ezekiel Elliott. You noticed he wasn't on the list. Well, I only paid people who were on teams. Currently on a team, Ezekiel Elliott has no team. Neither does Rashard Penny, who was a first round. Sony Michel and Big Leonard Fournette. These are all past due. They don't have a team currently, so I didn't add them to the list. Wasn't enough room. I had 14 people on there anyway. Ezekiel Elliott. His first year was his best year. 19.48. Even higher than Barkley's. He was picked 4th overall to Barkley's number 2 overall. Barkley, this is last year's averages then. Let's look at the top averages from last year. Barkley's on the list, of course. Gibbs, Robinson, and Jacobs were highlighting all we saw earlier, the first round picks. So they all were high on the list last year. You can see. So here we go. If we find Barkley's rookie year, put it on the list at 18.35. You'd see he'd come in last year at number 4 on the list. So, and Elliott here. Elliott, for an incredible rookie year, first year, best year, would have come in second last year, 19.48. So Gentry, are we thinking if he goes 6 to the Raiders, like some say, hey, that'd be on par with those high picks like Ezekiel Elliott and Barkley. Well, that kind of pick would slot him in right around 15 and a half, 16. We'd go conservative on their two numbers. See, hey, a little bit less conservative might be to move it to 3 or 4. So what about Hampton? We mentioned him as a possible other first rounder. Well, if we go on pars with the other ones, say he goes about 20. Well, we can see that Jacobs, rookie year, 13.35. Najee's was 13.34, so we'll pick around right there if they comes in 20th. And that would make him about 11th last year. So that's kind of a look where these two, Ashton Gentry and O'Marion Hampton might score. Now, which team they go to might make a difference too. Let's take a look at that. So where does Genty land? Well, some have him going to Vegas. That's been one of the early mentions there. And the Bears lately. Bears been talked up. Maybe going to work with Ben Johnson, adding to his running back total there. And, of course, Bucky Brooks here has Dallas interested. These are all kind of dream picks where they might go. Let's go take a look at Vegas here. Bring out there. You mentioned Vegas, of course. Let's go ahead and look real quick at their running backs. You know, we saw that they, of course, brought Mostert in there, so that's where he's going to fit in. So, hey, he leads their running back stable of running backs. So, hey, what better way to improve the 32nd rushing team is to bring him there. Not much competition. Of course, he would be the team. Got Geno Smith in as to be the quarterback, and Jacoby Myers to help out there. And, of course, that Brock Bowers was exciting rookie there, too. So, Vegas might be one of the picks. And they mentioned the Bears, too. Let's switch over to the Bears and see. I don't like this one as well. You know, you bring out their, let's go to their running back, Swift. You see that he was already there. He was 19th last year. I know it'd be kind of crowded if you send him there. And they've got Roschon Johnson. So I don't know about this one. They had 25th. Hey, could use it. And the way he platoons, hey, just between me and you, I'm hoping he doesn't go there. All right? Hey, you know, too much platoon in there. And Swift wasn't bad, 19th overall. So don't like the Bears. Of course, they mentioned the Cowboys. Starved for any kind of stars other than C.D. Lamb. All right? So they do have C.D. Lamb. Let's go ahead and see what they have at don't forget they brought in Javonte Williams, to lead the pack here. So he's currently their number one. He finished 32nd overall. So 27th team here in rushing. So they could use him, team him up. Boy, if he'd went to Dallas, that'd be a big story. You know, that'd probably heighten his draft round, a couple rounds in the fantasy drafts, which he'd probably go here pretty good. So, yeah, Miles Sanders, they brought him in too, and Javonte Williams, but that's who it'd be up against if he goes to Dallas. All right, it's that time. I need to fill my shorts. Get a short, make a short out of this. Warning, this is a rapid repeat. Fantasy AI with first-round draft pick running backs. Cordell Patterson was a wide receiver, but he was taken in the first round and now is a running back. Christian McCaffrey for Carolina Panthers was a first-rounder way back. And Barkley for the Giants was a first-round pick, now with the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia. Josh Jacobs moved over to the Packers, but he was originally a first-round pick for Vegas. First-round running back. CEH. Chiefs might want to forget about him as a number oneer, but he was a first-rounder for them. Najee Harris moved on to the Chargers. 4 years there with Pittsburgh. He was a first-round pick. Travis Etienne was a first-rounder for Jacksonville. And Bijan Robinson was a recent first-rounder, doing good with the Falcons last year. And Jahmyr Gibbs, first-rounder with Detroit last year.